MCS. No, okay. I'm sorry. I'm taking the subject for MCS-14, which is scheduled to be on Monday and Tuesday, but the subject being rescheduled. So the subject name is called Systems Analysis and Designing,
System analysis.
MCS-14. Is that all of you good? And one more thing. Do you have any study material for this course?
Yes, sir. We have bought from online.
Okay, that's good because this time we have to rely on the online materials. So let us wait for 1 2 minutes. Let all other join, then we'll start the normal process.
Sure. Sir, may I ask you one question?
Yes, sure, sure.
Actually, actually, in my hall ticket,
Mm.
MCS 16 and MCS 17, no? In that there is not scheduled date. So why is it so, sir?
Uh, Actually, you have to connect to the coordinator for this. Okay, because I'm the counselor only to get questions from this subject only. Hope you
Okay.
understand this. If you have any query to the subject related, I only can solve. And if you have any kind of admin kind of problems, you connect to the assistant coordinator or the coordinator. Will it be okay?
But may I just know, sir, is there any problem with that?
No, actually, I'm also not having, access to those. I have been given an access privilege to access to this meeting only, and I do not have any admin privilege also.
Sir. Okay. Thank you.
So I'll talk to Sunil sir, and he will resolve that. And if you
Yes,
have,
sir. Yes.
can you brief that question in the chat box so that I can keep that question in this chat box? You can write your question or the problem you are facing.
Yes, sir. I'll do
All
that.
right. Only 8 came. Let me share my screen. And we will be focusing to the first module today, the subject name and the purpose of this course and how far it is beneficial to the modern software technology. Okay, I hope my screen is visible.
It is, sir. It is.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So this is the first module that is called Block 1 of System Analysis and Designing. We will be discussing about these images first, then the purpose of this course. Okay, so the first question came into the mind, what is a system? Can anyone brief what is a system? Anyone? Just promptly answer. One to not a, may not be a good sentence, but just to have a brief idea about what is a system. Anyone? Or you can give example if you're unable to define the word system. You can give an example as well. Look, it's a counseling session. You all it is simply an
Maybe
interaction. Yes, repeat.
something which is organized or may have some steps to do something like.
Okay. One example. Any one example? Okay. Any other? When to say it is a system?
Maybe a computer.
Okay. So whatever you told about in an organized kind of thing or organization kind of thing, if you look at the points here, it is an organization, it is an interaction, it is interdependent, it is integration. These are the basic terms, whatever you told to be visible. Can you mute your mic? Who is speaking? Okay. So if you go by the broad term of system, first of all, we have to know about what this system is related to and what is the purpose of this. Okay. So first one is a system.
Hi sir, someone is asking some question in the chat box.
That question he already raised, that I'm keeping that question. I'll ask Sunil sir regarding this. Okay. I'm copying this. So, okay. Don't worry. I'll discuss with Sunil sir and he'll give a answer to you directly. He'll connect to you. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, let us have the definition of a system. We can say a system is pretty much like a collaborative way of bringing the individual component to meet to a requirement. Like suppose you want to play a music. What are the independent component? Any idea? You want to play a music or you want to listen to a song. What are the things needed when we say it's a music system? What are the components for a music system? Anyone?
Music player, any music player.
We need a player. What else? We need a player. Okay. What else?
Like piano, we can use.
We need media as well. This media is in the form of some MP3 files. Yes or no?
Yes.
So that means we need a source, that is called a source. What else? The player must be able to deliver. We need a speaker kind of thing. Maybe speaker, maybe inbuilt or maybe auxiliary. बाहर होना चाहिए. Maybe. Or if you do not have a source like an MP3, you can have a microphone also. Yes or no? So
Yes.
can I say a player is a music system, or all these components are also in the part of the system?
All the components.
Yes. So that is what the music system is, or a system is. Now, if you bring with something like a computer system, when we say it is a computer system, if you promptly define the component of a computer, broadly it is input, it is output, and it is
Input,
something called
CPU.
processing. You can say processing, or you can say memory, you can say all this kind of component of it. But each individual is not a system. Each individual is a component of a system. But when all together coming in collaboration, then we can say it is a computer system. But what is the purpose? What is the purpose? What is the purpose of a computer system? You must have to define the purpose of a computer system. Yes or no? Say, I give something like, I have a washing machine. Can I say it is a computer system?
Yes.
I have, but but do you think that
It is a
inside the
system, but not a computer.
okay, but उसके अंदर एक कंप्यूटर होगा शायद? Yes or no? उसके अंदर
May
we
not,
can
but
have
there's some functionalities are there.
okay. So we say we have a TV and we have a computer, which is a special and which is a general. If it is a, it has also a
Computer
computer,
is a
it has a
special.
microprocessor. इसके अंदर भी माइक्रोप्रोसेसर है, इसके अंदर भी माइक्रोप्रोसेसर है. इसमें भी इनपुट आता है, इसमें भी इनपुट आता है, इसमें भी आउटपुट होता है, इसमें भी आउटपुट होता है. When we say computer, this is a general purpose computer, whereas this is a special purpose computer. Means that when you plug in, you will only can get the TV. But when you plug in, you have an option to customize what you want. You may be watching TV, you may be playing movie, you may be playing game, or you may be doing some computing task like writing programs. Yes or no? So we must have a purpose properly given. What is the boundary? If you look at the boundary, and if you look at the boundary, we can say it is unlimited boundary. We can say limited boundary. You have a microwave oven. आपके घर में microwave oven होगा. तो उसमें एक माइक्रो प्रोसेसर जरूर होगा, बिकॉज आप प्रोग्राम कर रहे हो, सम बटन से आप प्रोग्राम कर रहे हो. दैट मीन इट इज डूइंग समथिंग. व्हाट इज द लिमिटेशन और द बाउंड्री इज ओनली टू कुक. Okay. So keeping that in mind, we have a certain classification of the system. One is called a formal system, one is called an informal system, one is a physical, one is an abstract. One is open, one is closed, one is manual and automated. Okay, well, let us go one by one. There's a formal system like something like I want to make uh, an organization. I'm to make an organization like IGNO. So we also can say it is also a system. That means you cannot at once build IGNO kind of system. You need a in prior decision making kind of things. So if you go by a formal system, it says it's a planned in advance, and it is very much going a phase by phase development. It's not at once coming. Okay. Now coming to a physical and abstract, it's very common we say. A physical system we say like a vehicle or a car, a vehicle, a car, a bus, a truck, something like. They are what physical system. A music system, anyone? Is it physical or abstract?
Physical.
Physical system. Similarly, if I say I have a software called Tally, what this is called? Say I have a system called financial software, a financial software or financial system called Tally. What is it, physical or abstract?
Abstract.
It is
Abstract.
abstract. So sometimes we may need both physical and abstract because you cannot have Tally without a computer, is it? You need a computer. So we need a collaborative kind of integration between the independent system, one system to another system. Similarly, there is another system called open system. Open system says, like in your organization, your decision making is done with a collaborative way. With a collaborative way means all the members of the organization are interacting together. The forum is open. Anybody can give their own idea, and the product will come. But if it is a decision making in the boss end, in the manager's end, we can say it is a closed system. That means they are making their own decision, a system they are forming. They are not integrating with others. They are not asking any feedback from the other members, and it will be coming in the form of a closed system. There is another system that is called cybernetic system. Although इसमें नहीं लिखा हुआ है, that is called a cybernetic system. You can search from the internet. Cybernetic system. Cybernetic systems are systems which are taking input, it is processing, it is giving output, and from the output again there is a feedback, again it is processed. I'll give one example of that. All of you have mobile phone, all of you have smartphones, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
All of you have idea about auto brightness.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what actually is doing, it is monitoring the ambient light. Ambient light मतलब आपके surround light होता है जो ambient light, और ambient light के हिसाब से the brightness of the mobile phone, the brightness of the mobile phone is controlled. That is called auto brightness. Means it is monitoring the environment. It is monitoring the environment, and gradually it is doing its own computing. Similarly, if you have something called आपके घर में वो इमर्स जो प्रेस करते हैं आयरन होगा सबके घर में मोस्टली
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
मोस्टली ऑटोमेटिक आयरन जो होते हैं ऑटोमेटिक आयरन जो होता है उसमें एक बल्ब होता है यू माइट हैव नोटिस्ड दिस इज द आयरन ये आयरन होगा इस तरह का कुछ होगा ओके यहाँ पे एक बल्ब होता है जब आप इसको प्लग इन करोगे व्हेन यू प्लग इन ये बल्ब ऑन हो जाएगा देन जब ये हीट हो जाएगा ऑटोमेटिकली ऑफ हो जाएगा हैव यू नोटिस्ड
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
this is also a cybernetic system because you have started the heating process and it is constantly monitoring the environment and it is doing what earlier हम manually उसको switch off कर रहे थे but it is doing its own when it arises its actual temperature it disconnected the heating element. Again, it is monitoring. When it is not getting that temperature, again it is switching that on. Similarly in AC also. In AC, suppose you have some set to say 24 degree, and the environmental temperature is 27 degree. ठीक है, तो आपका घर का इनिशियल टेम्परेचर क्या होगा? इनिशियल टेम्परेचर 27 होगा, yes or no? But after some time, when your room temperature is reaching to 24, तो ये ऑटोमेटिकली ऑफ हो जाता है. Have you noticed this? How many of you have noticed the outdoor unit of a AC? The outdoor unit of an AC. AC का एक बाहर वाला एक यूनिट होता है. Have you noticed that उसमें एक फैन होता है?
जी सर.
तो
Yes,
आप एक
sir.
काम करोगे, एक बार नोटिस करोगे, इसके सामने 15-20 मिनट यू स्टार्ट बिफोर बिट 15 to 20 मिनट्स आप खड़े रहो. यू विल नोटिस कुछ देर वो ऑन होता है, फिर कुछ देर वो ऑफ हो जाता है, फिर कुछ देर वो ऑन हो जाता है, कुछ देर वो ऑफ हो जाता है. व्हाई इट इज हैपनिंग? बिकॉज इट इज कंस्टेंटली मॉनिटरिंग द रूम टेम्परेचर एंड द सेट टेम्परेचर. इफ द सेट टेम्परेचर एंड रूम टेम्परेचर आर सेम, वो क्या करेगा? उसको बंद कर देगा, मतलब कंप्रेसर को बंद कर देगा. बट इसमें लाइट होगा, फैन चलता है, बट दिस कंप्रेसर इज ऑफ. बट वंस इट इज एक्सीडिंग रूम टेम्परेचर को, फिर से 25 हो जाएगा, अगेन इट विल स्टार्ट द कंप्रेसर, तो यहाँ पे फैन चालू होगा. इफ यू नोटिस दैट. So these kind of systems are called what? Cybernetic systems. And what is a cybernetic system? It's a system which has the feedback ability, which is constantly monitoring the environment of that. Okay, is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes sir.
Now that is what the system is all about. Now when we talk about some type of implementation systems, we can have something like a real-time system, a batch type systems. We'll discuss that later. But real-time system means like suppose you are doing a reservation, a train reservation or a flight reservation, and suppose the flight time is 9 a.m. 9 a.m. Tomorrow, yeah, today. Okay, the flight time was 9 a.m. today. Can I book this flight? Can this booking is allowed?
No sir.
So that is called real time, because your system is running in a time zone or in a time specific area, and based on that it will behave. Okay. Then distributed system mean if your system is designed with, with parallelly with many people, like suppose in your organization you have something called an exam section, you have an admin section, you have a library, say, you have a cultural section, all these kind of sections. So if you distribute people with expert mind, who will be working with exam section only, who will be working with admin section only, so that is called independent. That is called independent. These are independent. Is there anyone requesting? No. So they are called independent. But what is the goal? The goal is called organizational need. So we can say the tasks are distributed. जितने भी tasks है, वो tasks we have distributed, and all these tasks are parallelly happening. Okay, I'll ask one question. Let us build a house. Let us build a house, and let us think there are three phases or three sections. Okay, one is called the foundation. One is called the pillars. One is called the roof. Okay. So can these three things make parallelly? Anyone? Can we build a house with these three component parallel to each other or sequential?
Sequentially, we need
Sequel
to.
to.
That means
Sequence.
आपका house में this is the foundation and these are the pillars. These are the pillars, and you are laying the roof. You are laying the roof. Now, an engineering approach came. It's very clear that you cannot install the pillar if you do not have a foundation. Similarly, you cannot lay the roof if you do not have the pillars. So it is expected that this thing to be kept, but sequentially. But my question is, can some part of this be made parallel? Anyone? Can some part of this three to be made parallel?
No.
Okay. Let us think of that when you are doing your foundation work, the foundation experts will be employed, yes or no? The experts who are having expertise to lay the foundation, yes or no? Similarly, the experts of roof and the expert of the pillar are different group of people, yes or no?
Yes.
तो इफ योर ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, आपके ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में अगर ये तीनों लोग आपको सैलरी, आप सैलरी दे रहे हो तीनों लोग को, ये कोई खाली बैठेंगे? यही लोग काम करेंगे? इज दिस नो? तो यू हैव टू एंगेज देम. तो क्या पिलर एक्सपर्ट को लेके फाउंडेशन में लगाओगे? इज इट वाइज? Lakshmikant, where are you? I'm getting noise. George, yes. Okay. So effective house building is that we have to hire people with having expert knowledge, yes or no? So we should not deploy people of the pillar experts to the foundation work. Now, can you think कि ये जब फाउंडेशन चल रहा है उसी टाइम पे पिलर के लिए क्या क्या बनता है? वायर फ्रेम्स होता है, यस और नो? जो पिलर बनता है तो आप पिलर अलग जगह पे बनाओ ना, उसके बाद आके यहाँ पे खड़ा कर दो. जो आजकल ब्रिज बनता है, हैव यू सीन दैट ब्रिज? आजकल जो ब्रिज बनता है, जो ये आई मीन जो रोड ब्रिज बनता है, अपने यू माइट हैव नोटिस्ड, ये जो स्लैब है ना, दे आर मेकिंग इन अ डिफरेंट प्लेस and they are bringing all those and installing at the area. Have you noticed this? Anyone?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that means we are making that some part of the work can be made parallel. Similarly, if you have another project, these people can be, once the roof part is going on, these people will be engaged in the second project. So that means we have to effectively use our resources. That is the key. So the main thing of management is to effectively use the resources. Now, for that development, there is a chapter called okay. This is a chapter in your and there is a book being given in this. If you go by the first chapter end, let me show you that first chapter end, and you will be using one book for this. Somewhere. Okay, this one. Yes, this book. You keep this book with you. You can download this book also. What is happening here? You can download this book also for modern system analysis and designing. And the material I'm giving, because this particular material is designed by just collecting the chapters from this book, our first book. Okay? And this is a chapter, there is a chapter that is when we will be a system analyst. Because system analyst का main component जो होता है कि human being who is called a system analyst, and who will be a system analyst. If you want to become a successful system analyst, what are the basic things needed? That we will discuss. So first we'll discuss about a system analyst must have an analytical skill, and what are the technical skills they need, what are the management skill they need, and what are the interpersonal skill required, so that they will be becoming a system analyst, a successful system analyst. So for that case, the analytical skills are having system thinking, organizational knowledge, problem identification, problem analyzing, and solving. These are the basic things needed. If you want to become a system analyst, you must have this kind of component to be with you so that you'll be a successful system analyst. What is system thinking? Anyone idea about system thinking? because you are going to have a system. So in prior you must think about the system, which kind of system you want to build, and what are the basic characteristics. We'll discuss one by one. One is the first one is called the component of the system, then the interrelated. You just think of there is a music system, okay? All of you, whatever I'm discussing about a system characteristics, you just think of a music system, you just think of a automobile system, you just think of a computer system, and keeping that this component you have to visualize. Okay, can anyone give a brief about what are the components needed for an automobile? If you talk about a car, if you talk about a car, what are the basic component? हम्म, कार में क्या क्या होता है?
Yes, a car frame and one steering also.
Okay, we must have wheels. We must have wheels. Okay, we must have a complete frame.
We must have
We must have an engine.
सीट्स
engine तो जरूर होगा, जरूर, ठीक है.
सीट होगा.
हाँ, इंटरनल अगर हम देखेंगे, इंटरनली हम अगर देखेंगे उसके अंदर सीट्स होंगे और स्टीयरिंग होंगे. दीज आर द थिंग्स इंटरनली होंगे. तो इंजन जरूर होगा. If you have an automated car, then the steering is not required. Yes, if you have a tractor which is automatically doing its work, then seats need not to be required. But we must have an engine. We must have a frame. We must have wheels. Yes or no? And we must have some fuel consuming unit. It may be solar powered. It may be diesel powered or something like that. Okay. Now, if you are asked to make this engine design, if you are asked to make the frame design, if you are asked to make the wheel design, and the whole thing is our system. So this component knowledge, being a system analyst, because if you all are my team members and I am the system analyst, I must know who are having expertise to all these components. Yes or no? Because just think of, you are a manager of a system. If you are a manager, and sometimes we blame our manager कि देखो हमें ये फालतू का काम दे दिया, हाँ या ना? समटाइम्स आप अगर स्टूडेंट हो, आपका एक इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज होता है, तो आपके जो टीचर होते हैं या लीडर होते हैं वो आपको एक काम दे देता है, चल चल तू कैटरिंग का संभाल, तू गेस्ट को संभाल. फिर तुम मन ही मन देते हो, नहीं मैं तो कल्चरल एक्टिविटी में मेरा एक्सपर्ट है, तो मुझे क्यों ये कैटरिंग में दे दिया? ये सर नो. So if you want to become a system analyst, you must first have knowledge about the component. Then you must have knowledge about the team member and their expertise level. Then only you can give and assign the duties, and you will be getting on-time delivery or scheduled time delivery to you, so that you can define, and the schedule will be completely maintained. So that is why if you do not have knowledge about the components, then it would be bad design. Interrelated components, the boundary, what are the restrictions कि मुझे कार बनाना है या मुझे ट्रैक्टर बनाना है, मुझे बाउंड्री को मुझे नॉलेज होना चाहिए, या मेरा जो व्हीकल है वो किस पर्टिकुलर रोड में जाना चाहता है, तो बेस्ड ऑन दैट बाउंड्री knowledge to be given. Similarly, purpose, environment, that I talked about environment, and the interface, input, output, and the constraints. Constraints are that mean आप ऐसे एक व्हीकल बना रहे हो जिसमें एक बजट एज ए कंस्ट्रेंट. आप एक ऐसे व्हीकल बना रहे हो जो, सपोज मैं एक हाउस बनाऊंगा, मैं एक हाउस, लेट मी हैव ए हाउस जो कि हिल टॉप में एक हाउस बनेगा यहाँ पे. ऐसे हिल टॉप यहाँ पे हाउस बनेगा, ठीक है. तो आपका सपना है, तो मैं यहाँ पे एक हाउस बनाऊंगा, तो आप किसको कंसल्ट करोगे? खुद बनाओगे?
नहीं सर.
तो किसी इंजीनियर को करोगे, या कोई प्रॉपर्टी बिल्डर को कंसल्ट करोगे, या कोई हाउस जो बनाता है उसको कंसल्ट करोगे? यस और नो? तो वो
Yes sir.
क्या
जी
अचानक
बिल्कुल.
अचानक हाउस बनाना शुरू कर देगा? क्या करेगा? आपसे पूछेगा ना. फर्स्ट
बिल्कुल.
फर्स्ट क्या पूछेगा? बजट. यस और नो? सेकंड क्या पूछेगा?
Yes.
सेकंड पूछेगा, ये बोलेगा मेरे पास बहुत पैसा है, तुम जितना भी पैसा लो बट यहाँ पे बनाओ. तो नेक्स्ट कंस्ट्रेंट क्या आएगा? टेक्नोलॉजी। टेक्नोलॉजी के आप यहाँ तक पहुंच सकते हो क्या? आप यहाँ तक आपका सामान जा सकता है क्या टू मेक द हाउस? यस और नो? और ऐसा टेक्नोलॉजी नहीं होगा, पहुंचते पहुंचते ये बर्फ हो जाएगा या गिर जाएगा, तो अब पैसे से क्या मतलब है? ठीक है। दूसरा, शेड्यूल। शेड्यूल क्या होता है? मुझे इस जन्म में हाउस चाहिए। अगर आपका टेक्नोलॉजी इतना नहीं होगा और ये 200 साल लग जाएगा यहाँ पे बनाने के लिए, तो क्या फायदा है? ये सर नो। और एक होता है ऑपरेशन। ऑपरेशन मतलब आप यहाँ पे हाउस बनाओगे तो यहाँ पे जो इनहेबिटेंट्स है ना, उनके ऊपर व्हाट इम्पैक्ट करेगा। तो ये एरिया आपको अलाउ करेगा क्या हाउस बनाने के लिए? So there are some constraints. We need to have that constraint to be discussed in prior. Okay? तो म्यूट करो, बहुत नॉइज हो रहा है. So these are the basic component of a system that if you want to become a system analyst, you must have knowledge about that system concepts. तो system के बारे में आपको बता दिया था. डिकम्पोज कैसे करोगे? आपको अगर एक इवेंट ऑर्गेनाइज करना है तो इवेंट में क्या क्या कंपोनेंट होता है आपको स्प्लिट करना है. आप ये हाउस बनाओगे तो हाउस में क्या क्या कंपोनेंट होता है? फाउंडेशन होता है, पिलर होता है, रूफ होता है. तो उसको आपको कंपोनेंट डिजाइन करना पड़ेगा पहले. दैट इज कॉल्ड द डिकम्पोजिशन. देन सिस्टम थिंकिंग. तो यू मस्ट हैव द मॉड्यूल दैट मैं पहले क्या बनाऊंगा. पहले मैं फ्रेम बनाऊंगा या व्हील बनाऊंगा या इंजन बनाऊंगा या तीनों को एक साथ बनाऊंगा. तो दैट मीन वी हैव द होल कंपोनेंट ए कार. For the car, we have the modules. Each module to be sequentially connecting to each other. आपका एक व्हील बन गया, एक इंजन बन गया, एक फ्रेम बन गया, चेसिस बन गया. तो चेसिस में ये कपल होगा, चेसिस में आपका इंजन कपल होगा. Then only the whole system will be built. So when how the subsystems are coming all together to build the whole system, that is called coupling. And one is cohesion. Cohesion का मीनिंग होता है मुझे काम दिया गया है व्हील डिजाइन करने के लिए, मेरे फ्रेंड को काम दिया गया है इंजन डिजाइन करने के लिए. जो इंजन डिजाइनर व्हील डिजाइनर की तरफ नहीं देखेगा, उसको अपना काम करना है, इसको अपना काम करना है. दैट इज कॉल्ड इंडिपेंडेंट. ओके. Let me switch to another thing. So there are some chapters in this chapter. I'll share this PPT. Don't worry. These are the basic things, and let me share one website that I built for not for you, for BCA students. You can I'll share this link with you so that you can download all these PPTs. But I'm not shared. I think. Let me share this to the whole world. I think it is public. Okay. I think it is public. So you do one thing. Let me share this in your window and try to open this. If it is working, otherwise I have to change the setting. Can you please try this link I shared in the chat? And someone respond whether it is opening or not. Or it is asking some privileges. Is it working? Someone respond. Lakshmikant?
Yes, sir, downloading.
Is
Yes,
it
sir, downloading.
okay? That's good. Hey, you can download that later, not right now, but
Yeah,
want to know
we just
what
checked, sir. Yes, sir, we just checked. It's working.
Okay, thanks. Now, because we have a very short period of time, we cannot cover everything. And it was a 5 hour, 10 hour study earlier. Due to this pandemic, it being made to only 2 hours of study. So it is not possible to complete the whole thing. So, but justice is always the first priority, because if you are in the teaching community, you should not give the constraint to the students. देखो ये हुआ इसलिए मैं नहीं कर पाया. but the ethics is that my students to get maximum. So that's why I'm building this kind of websites, and you can interact with me. There will be a mail ID also being given in the end. You can use that mail ID for, okay, at the end, this mail ID is given. You can use this mail ID by just a description in the subject that IGNO student or IGNO SAD or something like that, so that I can recognize. Today in the particularly mailbox, it's being flooded with some promotional mails and some other kind of mails to distribute, distinguish when it's the priority or something is a task always. So it is better to give a very good subject so that I can recognize that you all are asking such kind of questions. So, okay. So now the question time is, if you have already gone through this material, if you have any kind of queries in your mind regarding this or related to this subject, you are free to ask so that I can have a discussion. Anyone? If anyone having any kind of queries, or if anyone is very confused about why this course is all about, or what this course is all about, how much it is beneficial for software industry, or is it for software industry as well as hardware industry, you can ask these questions. Anyone? Okay. Sometimes very difficult to ask questions also, I know. Okay, and let me raise those questions and answer in that way also. Now, the first question is whether this course is enough for software industry or for hardware industry or for organization industry. There are two subjects in the whole MCA. You have one system analysis and designing, and another subject is called software engineering. Now, the system analysis designing means if it is a system, then it must be a tangent type or intangible type. If it is a system, it must be tangible as well as intangible. But if it is a software, it may be tangible, it may be intangible. Which one is correct? Which one is correct? If it is a system, it may be tangible or intangible. Yes. And if it is a software engineering, it is tangible or intangible. Just tell me, which one is correct?
System is tangible, software industry is intangible.
Okay. Now, what is tangible? Tangible means physical. Tangible means you can see and touch. It is physical and it is abstract. Is that clear? Now, in that way, tell me.
Yes, sir.
Software is
Software is
Intangible.
intangible. Yes, sir, of
intangible.
course.
So, software is intangible. Software is intangible. Whereas system is not correct, it is systems. As it is systems, it is and means it is both physical as well as abstract. So that's why in the first semester you're being given with the knowledge about systems. But once you've been going through some language knowledges, then you'll be given with software engineering. So software engineering is only addressing to the abstract. So you all are responsible to develop, not engineer. There are two things. One is called development, one is called manufacturing. Manufacturing is always physical. Development or engineering is always abstract in terms of software engineering. So you are going to develop a software. You are not going to develop or manufacture a car. But in this era, there is a blending. That is called embedded system. Naam sune ho?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So what is happening in embedded system? Your hardware is given with a software, and this software is attached to it. Like if you have an AC, it has an EEPROM. It is an EEPROM. EEPROM means it has a programmable ROM. And this AC is combined, this EEPROM is having a program. इसके अंदर एक program run कर रहा है. When you plug in the AC, the program will start running. In the older days, there was nothing like there was a hardware different, there was a software different. But today we are having the hardware and the hardware driving the software, and the software is inbuilt to that. So they say I'm talking about a microwave oven. I'm talking about a microphone, your automatic washing machines. Okay, one is called internet enabled fridge, refrigerator. नाम सुने हो? Internet enabled
Yes, sir.
refrigerator. What is this? Internet. That is called Internet of Things. It is connecting to Amazon. इसके अंदर एक Amazon का ऑलरेडी क्रेडेंशियल है. आपका रेफ्रिजरेटर के अंदर जितने भी ट्रे होंगे, सब ट्रे में यहाँ पे आपका क्या ब्रेड होगा, यहाँ पे आपका बटर होगा, यहाँ पे कुछ अलग अलग कंपोनेंट होंगे. तो ऑल बीइंग कनेक्टेड टू दिस Amazon, and it is constantly monitoring the content of this trays. इस जितने भी ट्रे है ना, इस ट्रे में क्या क्या कंटेंट है, constantly monitoring. There is a software running. If somewhere something is missing, it is automatically ordering or putting a order to the Amazon, और automatically आपके घर में सामान आ जाएगा. So it is internet enabled refrigerators. So first time GE ने ये जनरल इलेक्ट्रिक ने ये लॉन्च किया था with AWS cloud to Amazon, so that it is always expected इंटरनेट हमेशा होना चाहिए आपके घर में, और आपके घर में हमेशा पावर होना चाहिए, जो इंडिया में पॉसिबल नहीं है एट दिस एंड. हालांकि थोड़ा बहुत इम्प्रूव हो रहा है. अच्छा, और एक चीज मैं आपको कुछ डेली एग्जांपल्स आपको बता रहा हूँ. घर में रास्ते में आपने देखा होगा MG एक कंपनी है, उसका एक हेक्टर एक व्हीकल आता है, देखे हो?
जी, मॉरिसस गैरेज का हेक्टर.
इसके पीछे लिखा जाता है इंटरनेट इनसाइड, देखे हो?
जी, दिखा है.
व्हाट इज दिस? इंटरनेट कैसे अंदर रहेगा? कि कार के अंदर इंटरनेट कैसे रहेगा? इंटरनेट तो बाहर है. तो ये मैन्युफैक्चरर ने एक ट्रिक निकाला है कि लोगों को कैसे मार्केटिंग के उल्लू बनाए, इस तरह का. एक्चुअली इसके अंदर एक 5G सिम है, इसके अंदर एक 5G सिम है, और 5G सिम इतना फास्ट है. हालांकि इंडिया में 5G अभी तक नहीं आया है, बट एनीवे इफ इट इज 4G सिम इवन, इसका इंटरनेट कनेक्टिविटी इतना फास्ट है, इट इज नॉट डिपेंडिंग ऑन एनी अदर लाइक रोड साइड इंटरनेट सर्विस प्रोवाइडर्स. तो ये सब इंटेलिजेंट कंसेप्ट जो है, because these things to be constantly monitoring, your vehicle to be constantly monitored, so that is why they are putting an advertisement kind of thing internet inside. इसके अंदर actually एक 5G sim है, enabled है. So why I'm talking about this, because you are the person to be responsible to build this kind of system. Okay, now the last thing I'm asking, what is the full form of this course? That I usually ask this question to my students.
System analysis and design.
System analysis and designing.
Okay, let us see. Let us see that whether you are correct or not. We have to see that what is written here, the course name.
System analysis and design.
That means आप जो बोल रहे हो सही है, ठीक है. अब हम थोड़ा सा, because we must have very आपका शक के नजर आपका तो उस तरह का होना चाहिए, तब जाके आपको समझ में आएगा ये क्या लिखा हुआ है.
Systems analysis and design.
No, 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 no. You just look at this S.
Okay. Systems.
Okay.
Systems.
So in the title they might have written it wrongly, but it is systems. Why systems? Because it is accessing to several type of systems. It is not a system. It may be tangible, it may be intangible. Okay, it may be in confusion as well. So if you go by to that first module में जो book मैंने आपको बताया था, उस book में देखोगे तो उस book में लिखा है मॉडर्न सिस्टम्स एनालिसिस एंड डिजाइनिंग. ठीक है. Then we will discuss about some of the strategy of system building in the next class. That what is this SDLC called? In software engineering, we will be using SDLC, a term In systems analysis designing, we will be using system LC. The full form of, in case of SAD, the full form is called Systems Development Lifecycle. Systems Development Lifecycle. Whereas in case of software engineering, this full form is pretty much different. It is called software. It is called Software Development Lifecycle. Actually, the SDLC full form is System Analysis and Designing. Because if you want to have an automobile, you must have to develop a life cycle. That मैं कहाँ से शुरू करूँगा और कहाँ पे खत्म करूँगा. You must have a life cycle. The first thing is in system analysis designing, we must have an input. What is the input? The input is called the requirement. And what is the output? The output is called a system. And what we say this system, you can say it is a software, you can say it is a product. So the input is a requirement, and the output may be a product, the output may be a software or any kind of thing. Okay, now from where the requirement will come? Anyone? Okay, I'm categorizing in terms of human perspective. One is called a client, one is called a group, called a developer. Okay. And inside this, the transform, this is called transformation. This is called transformation. Okay. Now just tell me, who are going to transform this requirement to product, and from where the requirement will come and to whom the product will be delivered? Anyone?
So from client requirement comes.
Okay. So from client,
will probably transform
and what about the product?
and deliver to the client.
Again,
Yes,
client.
it is also to the client.
Client only.
And in case of this, we have a team of members, a group of members called development team. A development team. So in modern term, it is called DevOps. आपको अगर टाइम होगा, आपका हालांकि सिलेबस में नहीं है, बट हम पढ़ेंगे तो कुछ नया चीज भी पढ़ेंगे. That is called DevOps. Earlier there was a term called client. Now it is called operation. This is called developer and operations. तो जो क्लाइंट है ना, उनका नाम होता है ऑपरेशन, और जो ट्रांसफॉर्म कर रहे हैं उसको बोलते हैं डेवलपर. डिफरेंस क्या है? इन द ओल्डर टेक्नोलॉजी, client was simply requesting. Client has no knowledge about or having no role about the development of the product. But there was a very difficult situation came कि suppose आपका client ने बोला मुझे ये चाहिए, तो आप बना रहे हो, बीच में बोला नहीं मुझे ये चेंज करना है, तो डिफिकल्ट हो रहा था. तो अभी क्या हो गया ना, दिस क्लाइंट एंड में भी डेवलपर काम करते हैं. दैट इज कॉल्ड अनसाइट. नाम सुने हो? अनसाइट नाम सुने हो? गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस में बोलते हैं एडहॉक डेप्यूटेशन. नाम सुने हो? गवर्नमेंट ऑफिस में डेप्यूटेशन का मतलब होता है, आप सपोज
Yes, sir.
सपोज यू आर फ्रॉम एनआईसी, आप एनआईसी में नेशनल इंफॉर्मेटिक्स सेंटर में आप काम कर रहे हो, तो आप एनआईसी में काम कर रहे हो और अचानक आपको बोला गया है कि आप जाके तहसील ऑफिस में, जो तहसील डिस्ट्रिक्ट तहसील ऑफिस में जाके 2 साल काम करो. वाई? मैं तो एनआईसी में हूँ, मैं तो सॉफ्टवेयर वाला हूँ, मैं तहसील ऑफिस में जाके क्या करूंगा? या मैं डीआरडीए ऑफिस में जाके, डिस्ट्रिक्ट रूरल डेवलपमेंट अथॉरिटी जो होता है, या उस एजेंसी क्या है, आई डोंट नो, यहाँ पे मैं काम करूंगा. क्यों काम करूंगा? Because I want to learn about the software requirement. How come I can fulfill their product or the problems in terms of technology or in terms of software? So I am to go and monitor what is happening, and I am to go with the requirement. I am the person to carry the requirement to the developer. But older में क्या हो रहा था, वो जो टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में नॉलेज नहीं, he was carrying with the requirement to the developer. There was a problem. So this all came with the DevOps. Okay, and that's some terms I'm giving. Do you know GitHub? नाम सुने हो? नाम सुने हो GitHub? आजकल सब नहीं?
Yes,
Anyone?
sir. Yes, sir.
Can you brief about the role of this hub? इसका काम क्या होता है ना?
ये ओपन सोर्स प्लेटफॉर्म है।
ओपन सोर्स है, यस। हाँ,
यहाँ पे आप सॉफ्टवेयर फ्री में डाउनलोड कर सकते हैं। जो
ओके। और
बनाते
क्या?
हैं ना वो
हम्म,
अपलोड करते हैं
बस और क्या
प्लेटफॉर्म
होता
में।
है?
इतना तक मालूम है सर।
ओके, बढ़िया, ठीक है। देन व्हाट इज द मीनिंग ऑफ ओपन सोर्स? आपने एक कंट्रीब्यूट किया, सपोज यू आर द कंट्रीब्यूटर, आपने कंट्रीब्यूट किया, ओके, यू आर द फर्स्ट पर्सन टू कंट्रीब्यूट सम कोड। सो दीज आर द कोड्स आपने लिखा है, ये कंट्रीब्यूट आपने किया। अब मैं क्या करूंगा, आपके कोड के अंदर जाऊंगा, क्योंकि मुझे ये आपका कोड अच्छा लग रहा है, मेरे डोमेन का है। मैं देखूंगा इस कोड में एक दो लाइन वी कैन ऐड, और एक दो लाइन में कुछ प्रॉब्लम है वी कैन रिमूव। तो हम क्या करेंगे, मैं इसमें ज्वाइन करूंगा, मैं इसको फॉर्क करूंगा, और इसमें फॉर्क करके क्या करूंगा, इसको मैं एडिट करूंगा, और फिर आप एडिटेड वर्जन को आप अगर अप्रूव करोगे तो ये क्या हो जाएगा, बंडल हो जाएगा, मेरा नॉलेज और तुम्हारा नॉलेज। सिमिलरली और तीसरा भी कोई आएगा, चौथा भी आएगा, तो ये क्या होगा, यूनानिमस डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ए प्रोडक्ट। यूनानिमस डेवलपमेंट ऑफ ए प्रोडक्ट क्या है, जो डोमेन नॉलेज, मेरा डोमेन नॉलेज, मेरा एक्सपर्टी नॉलेज, मेरे फ्रेंड का एक्सपर्टी नॉलेज, ये सारी चीज यूनानिमसली डेवलप होके एक प्रोडक्ट बनता है। तो ये सारी चीज को डेवलपमेंट और ऑपरेशन, डेवॉप का एक चैप्टर होता है, दैट इज कॉल्ड डेवॉप्स। अगर टाइम होगा तो डेवॉप्स के बारे में थोड़ा सा पढ़ोगे, लेकिन इन आवर सिलेबस दैट इज कॉल्ड एचडीएलसी। अब एचडीएलसी में क्या क्या है, मैं जस्ट एक रफली बता देता हूँ, वी हैव 5 more minutes, and I'm making it a software development life cycle. So we have the first point that is called feasibility study. Why feasibility study? If a client is coming with a requirement, there are two types of feasibility. One is a client side feasibility, one is a developer side feasibility. Suppose आप डेवलपर हो और ये एक क्लाइंट है, और क्लाइंट क्या बोल रहा है, मुझे एक घर चाहिए, आई वांट अ हाउस विच विल बी इन द रूफ टॉप और इन द हिल टॉप में मुझे एक हाउस चाहिए। एंड दिस इज द डेवलपर, दिस डेवलपर इज हाउसिंग डेवलपमेंट एजेंसी। तो ये इसके पास जाएगा, अलग, ठीक है। इस क्लाइंट को भी नॉलेज नहीं है कि कौन कौन ये बना रहा है, ठीक है। वो क्या करेगा, एक लोकल न्यूज़पेपर में या कोई वेबसाइट में या कोई दोस्त को बोलेगा, देखो मुझे इस तरह के हाउस चाहिए। तो वो क्या करेगा, वो कुछ नाम देगा, देखो ये कर सकता है, ये कर सकता है, ये कर सकता है, डेवलपर 1 कर सकता है, डेवलपर 2 कर सकता है, डेवलपर 3 कर सकता है, एंड सो ऑन। यस। अब क्या करेगा, उनके साथ वो कनेक्ट करेगा, कनेक्ट करके ये कुछ प्रपोजल देगा। ये प्रपोजल फाइनल प्रपोजल नहीं, रफ प्रपोजल देगा, दैट इज कॉल्ड कोटेशन 1, कोटेशन 2, quotation 3. I'm sorry, it all disappeared. So Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Suppose this client got these 4 quotations. और ये कोटेशन में क्या क्या लिखा हुआ है, इसमें लिखा है इस घर को बनाने के लिए मुझे अराउंड 1 करोड़ पैसा आपको देना पड़ेगा, और आपको करीब 15 months वेट करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है। अब Q2 बोला कि मैं 75 लाख में बना दूंगा, लेकिन मैं करीब 5 साल लूंगा, 5 years लूंगा। और किसी ने बोला मैं 5 करोड़ में बना दूंगा, 1 महीने में बना के दे दूंगा, ठीक है। अब आप कोई बोला कि नहीं मैं 2 करोड़ लूंगा, और वो भी मैं 15 months में बना के दे दूंगा, ठीक है। और कुछ टर्म्स एंड कंडीशंस लिख के दे दिया, तो क्या करोगे, you need to select one of them. जैसे you are buying a computer, you are buying a mobile phone, you are inspecting and you're getting the review points in the websites and some of the shopping portal, then you are approaching to the offline buy or an online buy, yes or no. So whenever you are approaching or finalizing a quotation, so similarly this client is going to finalize one of these quotations which is in the rating parameter. अगर क्लाइंट हरी में है, मुझे जल्दी जल्दी मकान चाहिए, तो वो क्या चूज करेगा, इधर इसको चूज करेगा या इसको चूज करेगा, यस और नो, या
जी
इसको भी
सर।
चूज कर सकता है। तो क्या एनालिसिस हो रहा है यहाँ पे, शेड्यूल एनालिसिस हो रहा है, और क्या हो रहा है, फाइनेंस एनालिसिस हो रहा है, यस।
यस सर।
ये होने के बाद सपोज उसने फाइनलाइज किया इस पार्ट को, इसको फाइनलाइज कर दिया। अब क्वेश्चन है डेवलपर साइड में, देखो जब वो कांटेक्ट कर रहा है फर्स्ट टाइम, इसके साथ कांटेक्ट कर रहा है, और किसी के साथ भी कांटेक्ट किया होगा, ये लोग मना कर दिए, क्यों मना कर दिए? लेकिन ये लोग हाँ किए। एनी आइडिया? एनी आइडिया ये क्यों मना कर दिए?
They may not have time or they may not have the technology or idea about it.
एग्जैक्टली मतलब वो भी फिजिबिलिटी एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं कि वेदर इट इज गुड टू टेक दिस और इट इज वाइज टू टेक दिस रिक्वायरमेंट और नॉट। सेकंड, वो बोलते हैं नहीं ये हमारे डोमेन का नहीं है, ये अलग है, हम लोग इस तरह के हाउस नहीं बनाते, हम पानी के अंदर हाउस बनाते हैं। वो बोलेगा नहीं, वो नॉट एग्री टू दैट। तो वो क्या कर रहे हैं कि एक रिक्वायरमेंट को एनालिसिस कर रहे हैं और सोच रहे हैं इन टर्म्स ऑफ शेड्यूल, इन टर्म्स ऑफ फाइनेंस, इन टर्म्स ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी, वो हाँ करेंगे नहीं करेंगे। फिर उसके बाद जो फाइनल हो जाएगा फिर से रिक्वायरमेंट एनालिसिस होगा, फिर से फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी होगा। तो क्या क्या फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी है मैं आपको एक एक रफली बता देता हूँ फिजिबिलिटी स्टडी क्या क्या है। Yes, feasibility study. I'm giving 2 points and then later we'll give the 3 more points also. One is called financially feasible और टेक्निकली feasible. आपके पास बहुत ज्यादा पैसा होगा लेकिन आप अगर आयरलैंड में रहोगे, आप बोलोगे मुझे एक लैंडलाइन कनेक्शन चाहिए, क्या हो सकता है? एनी आइडिया? यू आर इन एन आइलैंड and you are
Oh,
alone
yes.
in that, you are the alone richest person in that area और आप चाहते हो मुझे एक लैंडलाइन या एक ऑप्टिकल फाइबर केबल वाला एक कनेक्टिविटी चाहिए। आपके पास बहुत पैसा है लेकिन क्या हो सकता है? नहीं हो सकता, बिकॉज एक एक ही हाउस के लिए, एक ही पर्सन के लिए हम इतने सारे रिसोर्सेस को ब्लॉक नहीं कर पाएंगे। तो टेक्निकली दैट एरिया इज नॉट फिजिबल। तो ऑप्शंस क्या देंगे जब एक फेल होगा? तो ऑप्शन बोलेंगे देखो तुम्हारे सराउंडिंग में इफ you are arranging around 20 people of such expectations, then will be technically feasible. So if one feasibility study failed, you have to find the alternative of that feasibility study. Similarly, there are some other type of feasibility studies are also there. One is called operation feasibility. ऑपरेशन फिजिबिलिटी मतलब आप अगर अपने कंप्यूटर को मॉडर्नाइज कंप्यूटर एनेबल्ड करोगे, आपके जितने भी एम्प्लॉय है अगर उसको ऑपरेट नहीं कर पाएंगे तो क्या फायदा होगा? आर यू गेटिंग? आप अपने मम्मी के लिए जो जिसका एज है अराउंड 70 to 90 है, उनके लिए एक स्मार्टफोन 5G स्मार्टफोन या 4G स्मार्टफोन खरीद कर दोगे तो क्या फायदा होगा? He or she cannot operate that device. Then you might have you might have technology with you, you might have finance with you, but if that proper thing is not able to be operated, then what is the worthiness of that what that device? Yes. Another one is called political feasibility study, legal and political study. लीगल एंड पॉलिटिकल का मतलब होता है मैं सपोज एक हाउस बनाऊंगा, जिस हाउस के सराउंडिंग में कुछ प्ले ग्राउंड वगैरह है, अब जितनी बार हाउस बनाओगे उसको तोड़ देंगे। क्यों? गुंडागर्दी। हम यहाँ पे हाउस बनने नहीं देंगे। आर यू गेटिंग दिस? सो दिस इज ऑल्सो ए लीगल एंड पॉलिटिकल काइंड ऑफ थिंग। आपके पास पैसा हो सकता है, सब कुछ हो सकता है, बट दैट एरिया इज नॉट फिजिबल। So in the next class we will discuss about hopefully Monday I have my schedule class. Tomorrow you have as per the schedule some digital, yeah, I don't know what that subject is. You'll be getting that. So Monday as per my schedule I'll complete my portion. If you have any queries you can use my mail ID. So shall we stop here? Okay, so if you have no questions then let us stop here. Thank you.